Hi, I'm Jess from Melbourne Garden Quilts, and today I'm going to be demonstrating how I do a kind of stacked triangle design. You can see just here some of the bit I've just been doing. I don't normally do a lot of marking when I do free motion quilting, but for this design I've decided just to do a line just halfway between that sort of peachy coloured section, just so I can fit in as many triangles as I can. And it can get a bit tricky with these if you don't have a definite space to be working within. So I've done 3 so far. It's a fairly simple design to do. It's a good way to get used to aiming towards a point too with your free motion quilting. So what I'll do now is come down. I'm not using any particular angle with these, but they're kind of ending up being fairly much 45 degrees compared to the same lines. So now, because I don't really want to have to echo one of those lines I've already quilted, I'm just going to start doing some echo triangles inside that large shape. And because I want to end up back down here, I'm just going to echo along that drawn line. And just rearrange my quilt slightly. Because they're quite large triangles, there's a lot of quilt wrangling involved in doing this type of design. So now I'm just going to aim for a spot behind my needle, just at any sort of angle really. And because I've already quilted quite close to that line, I'm not going to worry too much about quilting up there, so I'll just do another echo section. I'm choosing to just do 3 triangles in each of these sections, but you could do as many as you wanted depending on the space you've got to fill, because this is about a 3-inch gap between the 2 lines that I'm working within, so I think it's not too close. You could do them as tight as you wanted to though, really. And so I'll come back down and aim for that line again now. Back along the line. I've made that one at a bit different angle, which gives it a bit of interest, I think. And again, echoing back down along that central line. Back out to the top, and again just echoing a few triangles inside. As I've said in a few of my other videos, I've got a stitch regulator on my machine, which means I move the fabric and the machine actually senses the movement of the fabric and will move the needle up and down according to the speed I'm moving it. So as you can see, my stitches end up being pretty even. I absolutely love it. I think it's brilliant. It means you can just focus on moving your fabric and focus on the quilting rather than having to coordinate the speed of your foot and the needle. could really wonk these triangles up as well. I mean, mine are fairly consistent within there, but you can do them at a different angle even to the outer triangle that you've quilted. That gives a really cool texture as well. I actually started with most of the quilt rolled up within my machine, so it's getting easier and easier as I'm going along the line, because I've got less bulk that I'm trying to deal with in there. I like to have as much of the quilt supported on the table as I can. I'd actually prefer to do that and have more quilt rolled up within my throat space than have most of the quilt hanging onto the floor. I think it's a lot easier to quilt if you've got most of it supported on the table. So I'd simply continue doing that right down each of the sides of that line, and then probably once I've gotten to the end, just continue my way back up the other side doing the same thing. I think it's a really cool texture. It's kind of a modern sort of design, I think. I use it a lot and it's quite fun to do. Thanks for watching. I hope it's been helpful, and I'll be back in a few weeks with another tutorial.